Good morning. I'm just leaving the Hampton Inn in Amarillo, and Snowball has got to go get charged because the destination chargers here were broken. On an impulse, I pulled into this Camping World store, which was huge. I was looking for windshield washer fluid and something to wipe the bugs off Snowball. The Ford Model T was produced in 1908, and as soon as 1910, there were early versions of a camper vehicle. So they've been with us a long time. Campers are like boats. As you move up in size, you can add all manner of conveniences such as satellite dishes, generators, solar panels, plumbing, and more electrical connectors than you can shake a stick at. I think there's a lot of truth in this cartoon. Y'all having a party back here?
Nah.
You gonna buy this?
Disgusting.
No? I think it'd be very, how much would it cost, roughly?
It's $39.95.
Is it new?
It's new.
It looks pretty cool.
They're really cool.
And I love this. I guess those are mosquito nets back there?
Yes, it attaches here.
Uh-huh.
It's down so you can keep the mosquitoes out. On the patio porch, or
you have a
this
porch.
also goes down to a ramp so you can load up stuff.
You can't sit on the porch when you're driving down the highway, can you?
No,
You can put your wife. You can put your wife out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
I know what would happen. It would cost me a lot of money. Now that I'm getting the hang of this, I thought I'd look at the most expensive thing in the store, or at least the biggest thing in the store, which was this 2007 used model for only $277,000. Apparently it's nearly $700,000 new. The power was off and I didn't have enough nerve to ask them to turn it on, or at least I didn't want to listen to a long sales pitch. Suffice it to say, this is like a small apartment. So I bought my windshield washer fluid and my bug spray for Snowball, and I'm back on the road. So more big wind turbines, they're everywhere in this part of the world. Just west of Amarillo is Cadillac Ranch. It was built by some art hippies backed by a local billionaire, Stanley Marsh, who just died this year. It was constructed in 1974 and consisted of 10 Cadillacs, various models in the line, and they faced west and were buried in the dirt at the same angle, supposedly, as the Great Pyramid of Giza. I spoke to the gentleman in the blue shirt taking the photograph here, who is a graduate of Duke Medical School and is the head of immunology at the VA hospital in that part of the country. He had just painted Duke on one of the cars, and I asked him where he got the spray paint, and he said, just take mine. So I proceeded to try and paint my name on one of the cars, but I was kind of an amateur here. You first have to paint something as a background color to have a little contrast to it. Apparently the tail fins have long since been scavenged from these cars. The doctor was taking his daughter to Pepperdine University, so he was on a bit of a road trip himself. So back on the road again, more windmills, and I stopped at the Route 66 Museum in Tucumcari, New Mexico, another iconic history piece of 66, but it was closed. I've mentioned several times that I would not have done this trip without the Tesla Autopilot. Here's an example of that. I'm overtaking a couple of slower moving trucks, and the car automatically saw that the way was safe to move into the passing lane, and as soon as I'm able, it will indicate that I can move back into the regular lane and do that automatically if you wish, or you can just push the turn stalk. I think that's a great safety feature. When I arrived in Albuquerque, which was about 5:30 in the afternoon, it was 72 degrees. Most people think of Albuquerque as being in the desert, but it's more like Denver in terms of climate. It's the high desert altitude over 6,000 feet. I stopped at the Albuquerque Supercharger, which was very close to my hotel. Thought I'd get a little juice before picking up Ann tomorrow so we could ride around Albuquerque. I met an interesting gentleman at the supercharger stall next to me. He was Italian. He received a PhD in computer science in Europe and worked there for about 10 years. But now he's a professor at the University of New Mexico. And he had some observations about what school graduates should do to succeed these days, which I thought was interesting. I happen to agree with him.
Students, they should graduate as fast as they can with a decent GPA and get a job instead of spending 8 years in debt and find a job in a restaurant while they're studying. That's what they should do. And after they get the job, think about a master and a PhD if they want it. And if they don't want it, just stay in the company. That's what they should do. Work hard.